Welcome to the Farmhouse Knitting Podcast. This is a place where we can slow down our day and knit a few rows while we chat all things cozy living, slow living, and of course, knitting. I'm your host, Dayna, knitting designer, mom of 3 girls, and cozy enthusiast. I kind of ramble, and we're here. We are where we are now. Oh, I was going to update you guys on, just kind of do a little update on cozy living things that I'm loving and slow living things that I'm loving. So, cozy living things that I'm loving right now are, well, I didn't get them in the mail yet, and one of them I'm not supposed to know about yet because my birthday is at the end of the month. But one of them, one of them is 2 candles, or I guess 2 of them are 2 candles, and those are coming in the those are coming in the mail, hopefully soon. We got an email that they're on their way, so hopefully those will be here and I can show you guys what I got in my next podcast episode. The other thing that I'm not supposed to know about is some yarn that, yeah, I know about it. It's funny when you have kids because they cannot keep secrets about presents, which is funny because my husband tries so hard. He's not great at keeping secrets either, but he tries so hard, and then you can just see his face fall when one of them blurts out, which in this case was last night, and then again today, all morning long. They've told me multiple times what I'm getting for my birthday, and yesterday my husband's face just like pure sadness, like, oh, I thought I might get her this year. Like, I always know what he's getting me for my birthday and Christmas because, like I said, he can't keep a secret, and I don't want to know. Like, I'm not trying to ask him. I think he gets so excited, he just wants to share it with me a little bit early. So, yeah, I think he thought he really had me this time and that I'd be surprised by what they got, and it's not. So I'll show you guys that. That will be in a later episode because my birthday is on September 30th. So I am going to open it then, as long as no one else. So, okay, what happened is I got really overwhelmed yesterday. I was trying to get dinner ready. My husband wasn't home yet, and the baby was deciding, I think she's teething, so she just didn't want to eat her dinner. So she's screaming. The smoke detector's going off. The girls are both like in and out of the backyard, sticking their hands back in the sand pit when they just wash their hands. Like, I was so overwhelmed. So when he got home, I was like, okay, dinner's ready. They're all set. I just need a minute. So I went and I sat in our room for like 5 minutes. And what ended up happening was they all came in with 2 skeins of the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes yarn because they were trying to cheer me up. So it's really the reason that I know it is super sweet, and it did cheer me up a lot, even though I knew it was coming. I already knew what it was, but yeah, it was super sweet. And so that was the reason that I now know my birthday present, but I'm going to try to hold out and not let them bring me any more yarn early, and I'll show you guys that on a later episode. So that was a really long explanation of 2 cozy things I'm loving right now but can't show you pictures of. On a normal episode and in a normal month that's not my birthday month, that will be different. So the slow living thing that I'm really into right now is canning, and like I said, it's my first year really doing it. We've done applesauce. We did it about 2 weeks ago now. So we made really good cinnamon applesauce. Again, my girls won't eat it because they don't trust applesauce that doesn't come in a go-guise or whatever it's called. Like the little pouches of applesauces that have a lot of sugar in them. I thought we added a lot of sugar, but I think they weren't even really willing to try because it wasn't what they're used to seeing and holding. So we canned that applesauce, and I'll link the recipe that we used. It was not our own. It was one that we found, but it is so good. We really like it. So I will link that below as well. So we have tomatoes, we have a bunch of cayenne peppers, and a couple other kinds of peppers that we're waiting on, but we're excited because we are going to, well, my husband made pasta sauce last weekend. So 2 weekends ago, applesauce. Last weekend was pasta sauce, and it is so good. I remember 2 years ago when he tried making sauce and salsa, I was really picky about it and I didn't actually like it. But whatever he used, again, I'll look and see if I can find that recipe. I'm pretty sure he was just going out of like the ball canning book for a recipe for that. But yeah, I'll find that and I'll link that one too because it was really good. And next on our list is doing salsa. So we have garlic that we already had harvested. We have onions that are done. We are waiting on a few peppers, so we hopefully will be able to do that really soon. So then let's think. I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about this yellow farmhouse. Not the blog, not the brand, not anything like that, but just the house. And we are so excited that we found this house. Well, it found us. We didn't know that we were going to be searching for a house last summer. We kind of talked about it. We couldn't agree on an area. We couldn't agree, like at first, I was not even on board with moving to the country, but it just kind of all happened the way it needed to happen. And our search last summer started with us finding this house that was a total fixer-upper. Like, I don't know how we would have lived there with 2 kids and like fixing it up at the same time, but it was way out in the country. It was further out than we are now. It was a fixer-upper. We both like really loved it, and we both seemed like we totally went back and forth between, are we going to put an offer on it or are we not? Like, we wanted it, but it didn't feel all the way right. But we really also had, like, it just kind of opened my eyes to living in the country and seeing that I was actually okay with it. Like, if it was not a fixer-upper house and it was the right house and then in the right area, because the thing is that the house that we saw that we first liked, it was far away from the town that we lived in and far away from any family. Like, we didn't know anybody there. Where we ended up today now, we are like 25 minutes away from my family. And then we're like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where you're going, from our old town. So it was this combination of, well, like, this is a big jump. We're going to the country. Like, I don't know a soul here. We really got to fix this place up. So we passed on that. But like I said, it was what we needed to see and kind of fall in love with and go through in order for us to even like have, like, I say us, but I'm mostly me. My husband grew up in the country of Michigan. So yeah, it was mostly me. Like, I needed to be able to not be at a place where I was just automatically putting blinders on to a country house. Like, I was so against well water, and I was so not wanting to live on like a dirt road, and the house we're in now has a gravel driveway. So yeah, it happened the way it needed to happen. It found us. We weren't looking in this town, but I remember I got an email from Redfin, and they'll send you like property, like suggested houses to check out that are within like whatever search terms you used. But then at the bottom of the email, there's always a couple like random houses where it's kind of like, well, how on earth did you find those? And what about my like search terms and filter made that seem like it was a good choice? Because usually the ones at the bottom of the email were always totally random, like different town, $500,000, something that we were not looking for at all. But in one particular email, I remember for some reason scrolling down to the bottom, even though I knew better, and coming across the listing for this house. And it wasn't in a town we were looking at. It's a town I knew of and I had heard of because I grew up, like I said, 2 towns over. But it was a small town, and I really thought it'd be too far from my husband's work. Well, it ended up, and it was also out of our price range, we thought. But it ended up being cheaper than we thought, or like more, what's the word? Affordable. Wow. Major brain fart. It ended up being more affordable than we thought because it's, like zoned a certain way. If we were on the other side of the street, we wouldn't have gotten the financing that we did for this house. But also, another thing that, like, the reason we weren't looking this town at all is because it was going to be over an hour about away from my husband's work. Well, when we moved in, first of all, when we came to see the house, we fell in love and we knew that we wanted it, and we were kind of like for us, we're going to make it work. It's, just over an hour from work, but my husband was so completely in love with this house too. And he just kind of was like, well, yes, it's a long commute, but it's all highways. Like, he stops at 1 stoplight and 2 stop signs, I think. Something like that. Something crazy like that on his way to work. So he was kind of like, well, this is so worth it to me. Like, if I have to drive that far to work, but this is where, like, this is an oasis to him. And to me too, like, it was so worth it to him to be like, this is home. Like, yeah, I have to go drive that far and be at work and all that, but, like, I get to be home, and this is such a home to me. So little did we know, a couple months after moving in, they started work on the highway, which is like a mile away from our house, creating an on and off ramp there, which cut, like, I don't even know, 10 or 15 minutes off his commute. And it was like just another one of those feelings of meant to be that we were coming across with this whole house. So yeah, it found us for sure. So I think that's all I have to share with you guys today. This is a long one, but like I said, it's the first episode. I don't plan to have every episode be an hour long. I also am a mom of 3 kids, and I do this at nap time, but nap time doesn't always overlap with my middle child and my baby, so I don't always have an hour to sit and knit and chat with you guys. So that's all I have for today. And if you liked this video, or maybe you were like, well, that girl can talk. That girl likes to ramble. But you want to give the next episode a listen, then please subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment to say hi, and let me know you're here so I know who's listening. And then also head over to the Facebook group that I'm starting for this podcast. We can create a little community around cozy living and knitting, and I'll link to that group in the show notes. So that's all I got for you guys. Stay cozy.